Good morning everyone. So by this video lecture I am going to design of a slab culvert. So here I am started with one simple example. So the example follows: design a reinforced concrete slab culvert for the following data. So its clear span is 5 meter and clear width of the roadway is 7 meter. Thickness of the bearing cord is a 75 mm. Then width of the supports are 400 mm. Then width of the curb is a 600 mm. So until then the load class is followed as a class A and use M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. So this is the actual questions. So here they called a design for a simple slab culvert for the clear span of a 5 meter and its width is a 7 meter. So 7 meter is nothing but a just a two lane bridges. So I'm started with the solutions. So solution, first one is assuming the thickness of the slab culvert as a 400 mm and effective cover is a 50 mm. So we assuming that the effective cover is a 50 mm and 400 is your overall depth. That means then D, effective depth D is 400 minus 50 is a 350. So 350 mm is nothing but a effective depth of the slab culvert. So we know effective span is a length clear space plus D. Already we know L plus D are center to center between supports. So whichever is a lesser value. So we choosing L plus D is a, it comes a lesser value 5.35 meter. So we accepted a effective span is a 5.35 meter. So bending moment due to dead loads and bending moment due to live loads. So for the slab culvert designs we have to choose the bending moments due to dead loads and live loads separately. We can't merge it both in. So first one is a bending moment due to dead loads. So we know that dead load of the slab is a 400 mm thickness. Overall depth is a 400. 0.4 into 25 is nothing but a unit weight of the concrete. So its value comes around 10 kilonewton per meter square. So it is a dead load. Then another is a dead load of a wearing cord. We know the bridge surface having a wearing cord. So already we know the wearing cord today cord size is a 75 mm. So 75 divided by 1000, 0.075 into 22. 22 is nothing but a unit weight of the wearing cord. So its value comes around 1.65 kilonewton per meter square. So its total value 10 plus 1.65 is 11.65 kilonewton per meter square. So bending moment due to dead load is a WL square by 8 because it is a two supports. Okay. Throughout this section the loads are spreaded like this. So it is a plan. So we considering it here both for a 1 meter width of the width. So bending moment due to dead load is WL square by 8. So W is a 11.65 kilonewton per meter square into effective length is a 5.35 meter square divided by 8. So its value comes around 41.68 kilonewton meter per meter width of the slab, because we know already the width of the slab is 7 meter, around 7 meter. So we considering only for a per meter width for bending moment calculations. So this is first step. We have to considering a moment due to dead loads alone. Further we have to choose the live loads. So live loads means it's need a positioning of a loads. So position of the live loads to give the maximum bending moment. So that means already I told a bridge culvert I have considering with a moving loads. So when vehicles moves along the road bridges, so its value changes from one portion to another portion. So heaviest load will move from left to right or right to left anyway, but any one places will have will feel the maximum loads, maximum bending moment. So that's the point we need to find out. So the structural point of view we already known the influence line diagram. So like this, beyond the influence line we are placing the positioning for giving a maximum bending moment. So position of the live load to give the maximum bending moment. So we consider total width of the culvert is a 7 meter and 2 into 0.6. 0.6 is nothing but a cube. Size of the cube, we know size of the cubes are a 600 mm. So yes, size of the cube is a 600. So width is a 7 meter and the left side 1 cube, right side 1 cube. Width is a 7 meter, left side 1 cube 0.6 meter, right side 1 cube 0.6 meter. So overall width is a 8.2 meter is nothing but the width of the cube, width of the culvert, total culvert. So width of the single lane carriageway culvert having a 3.8 meter, it is a condition. So if we can design a single lane carriageway means its width should be comes around 3.8 meter. Like this, if we are going for the another lanes, so another 2 lanes, 3 lanes, if we go like this, so for every additional 1 lane we have to add a 3 meter is added for its width. So already we know 3.8 meter for a single lane. If in case we are considering a 2 lane means 3.8 plus 3. So we assuming that this is a 2 lane culvert. So 2 lane culverts must need a width of a 3.8 plus 3, so 6.8 meter. So a 2 lane culverts needs a 6.8 minimum 6.8 meter width. Already we know our problem, the width of the carriageway will be a 7 meter. So less than a 7 meter 6.8 is a adaptable one. So 6.8 more than the 6.8. So we are providing a 7 meter. So 7 meter is a somewhat a higher value compared to 2 lane road. So we just consider it is also as a 2 lane culvert. So since the width of the culvert is a 7, so it is a 2 lane culvert. Maximum clear distance between the two vehicles. So we already know G and F value. So G is nothing but a if we considering, okay, just I am writing here. So considering it is a 2 lane, bridge slab. So here I am writing a one single vehicles, okay, just like a car. So another vehicles I am putting right here. So this is the another vehicle. So both vehicles maybe comes single direction or different direction. So I considering this goes to like upward direction. So like here to here, and it comes here to here. So here G and F, this is 2 are a clear distance between a vehicles and cubes. So considering here, so this is the edge of the left side vehicles, this is the edge of the right side vehicle. So it's the distance between two edges will be considering as a G value. Like that, likewise it is a cube, it is a support. So here a carriageway, after the carriageway it have a some cube. So distance between cube and adjacent vehicles, this is called a distance of F. So before that we should find the value of G and F. So that's here. So minimum clearance between a two vehicles, that means a minimum clearance is a G value. That's I told here G value. The distance between these two vehicles is a G. So G value must be contains a value of 0.4 meter to 1.2 meter for a carriageway width of a 5.5 meter to 7.5 meter. So this is the condition for a class A loading in IRC 6. So we know 0.4 for a 5.5 meter width, 1.2 meter G value for a 7.5 meter with flat slabs. So here we know for a 7 meter width of the clear distance, we know our problem having a 7 meter width. So the 7 meter for a 7 meter width, that's clearance G values must be contains a 0.4 to 1.2 between these two. So that's why we are finding here for 7 meter with clear distance between the two vehicles. So its value 0.4 plus difference between 0.4 and 1.2, denomination 7.5 to 5.5. So this gives a somewhat a slope value, and it is a what is the value we should consider. So minimum value 5.5, so we having a 7 meter, so 7 to 5.5 means this is the actual slope, actual distance we have to consider. So this is just like a somewhat y equal to mx plus c, y equal to mx plus c. So c value is nothing but a already known point 0.4. so here the slope, that is the slope we are putting these portions. Slope means nothing but a x direction and y direction, variation of x and y directions, and this x is nothing but a movement in x direction. So just like that. So by these steps we can find out the clear distance for the 7 meter width road or 1 meter. So that's important. So another that width of the contact area of the wheel is a 500 mm. So already we know the in a problem that's given. Otherwise we should considering a width of the contact area of the wheels. So contact area of the wheels means the area under these wheels, 0.5 meter. So center to center distance between the two vehicles means, so here G, so it's this center to this center, so here G 0.5 by 2, here 0.52. So I am putting there 1 plus 0.5, so 1.5 meter. So assuming a distance of a wheel from cab is a 150 mm. So we know from IRC the value of a distance between cab and wheel should be always 150 mm for a load class A loading. So here the distance of a center of the wheel from cab is a 0.15 plus contact area by 2, so 0.5 by 2, so 0.4 meter. So it's the value of a F, and here 1.5 meter is a value of a G. So small g, and here F is somewhat, just imagine. So the figure shows that position of a various wheels of the vehicles which will give the maximum bending moment for class A loading. The heaviest load is 11.4 tons. So it is also from IRC the table. So heaviest load for the class A is considered as 11.4 tons. So in our problem we also considering 11.4 tons. So 11.4 tons are 114 kilonewton, which is to be placed near the center of the span to give the maximum bending moment. For this configuration, other wheel will be of the culvert as shown. So we know from the ILD influence line diagram, for the moving loads we need to find the maximum bending moments occurring points. So from the simply supported cases, we know the maximum bending moment will occur always at center, where whenever the heaviest load will moves along the center. That's the rule from the influence line diagram. So from the simply supported beam, the heavier maximum bending moment always occur under the loads already we known. So by these conditions we should find the placing of a 11.4 kilonewton heaviest load to the exact position that is a nearest to center. So here seen here, so this is the road. So consider this is a center point. Okay, before that, so here this portion to this portion is a 5 meter. Okay, so here to here 5 meter or effective span is a 5.35 meter. So here it is a 7 meter span. Consider it is a slab culvert. Imagine that. So this portion to this portion is a 7 meter clear way. So here after that 0.6 meter used as a curve, left side also 0.6 meter used as a curve, and these four boxes considering a wheel contact area of the wheel. So we know contact area of the wheel is a 500 mm. So this is the 500 mm. Considering it is a one wheel, this like so actually this is a pen. So I give the data lines. So this is a one vehicle and this is a one vehicle. Already we know this vehicle will move right direction, this vehicle will move left direction. Just imagine. So we know the G value is nothing but a clearance between a to adjacent vehicle. So this portion to this portion is a G value. Already we know G value is a 1 meter and the contact area is a 0.5 and 0.5. So maximum G value gives around 1.5 meter. So this already we calculated. The same time we considering a distance between cube and a adjacent vehicles. It is a 0.15 meter. So 0.15 plus the center half of the contact area of the wheel, 0.5 by 2. So this value comes 0.4 meter. So this is the 0.4 meter. So imagine that. So this is the area for a one vehicle and this is the area for the another vehicle. So here we know from the shorter span the maximum bending moment always occurs at the center. So I am drawing the center line like here. So from this the center point will have feel the maximum bending moment. So for the maximum bending moment condition, I know we should place the maximum loads. So here for the small bridges 1 2 3 4 4 wheels are having a same maximum loading, that means 11.4 tons. So if we consider placing these loads at a center, the another portion will also give this portion also lying on the slab. So that will give the another smallest bending moment. So it's not gives the maximum bending moment. So I am placing here equal distance from the center line. So 0.6 meter on the opposite side and 0.6 meter on the before the center line. So here 1.2 meters always having a axial length of the vehicles. So this portions and the same thing this portion having same equal spanning considering with the center line. So that's why I am placing here 0.6 meter from center, here 0.6 meter from center. So that's why I am positioning this each 11.4 tons of wheels loads like here for having a maximum bending moment at the center portions. So like this. So next step we have to find the effective width. So here calculation of the effective width. So this is the formula taken from the IRC 112 for a bridge designs. So here breadth of effective breadth is a kx into 1 minus x by L effective plus a naught. So I am explaining the each and every terms. So before that we know breadth is a 8.2 meter. Breadth is nothing but a here 0.6 meter, 7 meter, again 0.6 meter. The overall length, overall width of the culvert is a 8.2 meter. So that is the actual breadth 8.2 meter. And the effective length L effective is a 5.35 meter, already we known. So breadth and effective length ratio we should find. So B by L effective is a 8.2 divided by 5.35. So its value 1.53 for a 1.53 L by L into L ratio, so breadth into length ratio. From the table of a 21.1, the K value will be find out as a 2.48 meter. So we should follow the IRC 112 code books. So I know everyone having that code books. Otherwise, if any doubts, just watch the IRC 112 code books and keep it. It is a correct. So the breadth of the each track often 45-degree depression through the bearing cord. So here we just consider. So this is the surface of the road. It is a bearing cord. Surface of the road. This is a bearing cord. This is the width of the slab. Okay, I am 75 mm. This is here 400 mm. So here I am placing a load. That means a wheel load from highway road. Indian Road Congress saying that the depressions are always following like this. So it is a 45 degree. So each and every direction having a 45 degree. So this is the depression area 500 mm. Each way the depression will follow the 45 degree angle. That means here the contact area will be higher at the bottom of the slab. So from the this portion this much of force, if a wheel loads are placed like this, these portions are also having a wheel loads. So these portions also having a wheel loads. That's the depressions tracking of a depressions. So we know we should find the tracking of the depression A naught. So here for that 0.5 is nothing but a area of a contact area of a wheel plus 2 times of 0.075. So here 0.075 for 45 degree from it is a D means, so this is also D, this is also D, this is also D. So here 1D, here 1D. So here 1 plus 1 2 into 0.075. So A naught value is a 0.65 meter. So it is going to A naught 0.065 meter, and X is nothing but a 5.35 by 2 minus 0.6. So here we considering, so this is the 5.35 meter. So here we know effective span, sorry, effective span 5.35 meter. So half of the 5.35 meter is this portion. So from this portion the edges are should not having any loading because the support value is a 0.6 meter. So even we place the load this 0.6 meter length this direction, so its loads will be considered half of the load in the bridges and half of the load will be on the another roadside or another subsoils. So we should considering a loading area should be 0.6 meter before the reaching the subsoil, before reaching the road surface, only in a bridge surface. So 5.35 minus 0.6 is a this portion. Okay, so we should considering this point. So this is they called a X. So X is nothing but a 5.35 by 2 minus size of the cube 0.6. So here 2.075 meter will comes as a X value. So this A value and X value we should place in this formula. We will get 2.48 is a K value from your Codal books, and X is a 2.075 and 1 minus 2.075 X divided by L effective is a 5.35 plus 0 A naught is a 0.65. So effective breadth for this slab is a 3.8 meter. So we should considering this value. So it can be seen that the effective width for the heavy wheel overlaps, hence all the 4 heavy wheels to be considered together acting over the effective width. So that means, so already we know this portion it is a one load. So we considering a another portion. So here I am placing a another wheel load. So this is the adjacent wheel, here one wheel and here another adjacent wheel like this. So if I considering this wheel also having a overlapping, so this portion consider containing a 2 times of a overloads. So compared to any other points, this portion will having a maximum stress value. That means these two loads overlapping. So we know all these areas will be having a uniform load, not a uniform load, that means varying loads, but even all the portions will have a somewhat loads. That we should learn. So because its value is a 3.8 meter, we know the breadth of the breadth is just a 5.35 meter, half of the breadth is a 5.35 by 2. So its value should be much lesser value compared to the effective breadth. So effective breadth have a higher value. So the up to 3.80 meter, their loads are overlapping. These loads are spreaded. That's why I am here we considering the loads due to the wheel loads or loads due to the point loads are not a point loads. I think these all are considered as a uniformly distributed loads over the through the section like this. So these loads are not a point load in this condition. So the loads are spreaded through this length also. Okay, so through this all portions all. So that's I am here saying that. So the load per meter width of the slab is 2 into 11.4 divided by 8.2. So here 2 is a 2 wheels and 11.4 is a maximum load for each and every wheels, and 8.2 meter is nothing but a overall breadth of the road, overall width of the road. So here the total load I am considering by spreaded through the 8.2 meter width. So 2.78 tons. So 2.78 tons or 27.8 kilonewton loads are will be spreaded through the, I am considering this is the load spreaded through the length. So here also I am considering the dispersed length for the wheel loads along the span. Along the span means the tire contact length plus 2 times of the thickness of the wearing coat plus thickness of the slab. So that means like that is a tire. So this is the thickness of the contact area. Here also one portion and here also one portion. So I am writing like this. This is spread out over the 45 meter. So this is the dispersion. So we should know the overall width like here. So this is we know 500 mm and this coating is 45 degree. It is a 75 mm. This is a 400 mm. So we all like this. So tire contact length plus 2 times of this portion 1 times and this portion 1 times. Tire contact plus 2 times of the wearing coat plus thickness of the slab. So here 250 plus 2 into 75 plus 400. So its value comes around. So its value 250 and another direction 250. So 1200 mm or 1.2 meter. So this position of a loads for the maximum bending moment calculation is shown in the figure. So here I am writing this is a support A, this support B, this is a 5.35 meter effective span. So here 27.8 kilonewton. That means the overall spreader load I said 27.8 kilonewton. So here also 27.8 kilonewton. So like this I am putting all the loads as are uniformly distributed. It's not a point load. I am just writing like a arrow. Just like a arrow. So 27.8 kilonewton and left side 27.8 kilonewton. This much of the load will be spreaded like this direction, like this. So 1.2 meter from left support, 1.2 meter from right supports. So these all over portions will be along 7 meter. Along 7 meter length, it will be considering as a uniform distributed area loads. So I am liking like this. So I here A support, here B support. This is the loadal portion. So our loadal portion having a center 0.6 meter from center, left side also 0.6 meter from center. So its value 1.2 meter and left side 1.2 meter and the remaining portions are 1.475, here 1.475. So for this loading case RA and RB, so RA and RB is equal to total load divided by 2 just from the strength of materials. So 2 into total load is here 27.8 kilonewton by 2, so 27.8 kilonewton. RA and RB also 27.8. So load per meter run is 27.8 divided by 1.2. Because why I am here 1.2 means, so this is the total load. So per meter length means it is a consideration of a 1.2 meter. So we have to, for design purpose, reduce it for every 1 meter length. So I am reducing here. So for every 1 meter length, it having a 23.167 kilonewton. So I am writing here 23.167 kilonewton per meter. So maximum bending moment at the center of the span will be 27.8 into 5.35 divided by 2 minus 23.167 into 1.2 whole square by 2. So here 27 is nothing but a reaction. So reaction 27 and acting. So here reaction 27. So 27.8 kilonewton. So here also 27.8 kilonewton. So from 27.8 kilonewton, it acting at a distance of half of the 5.35. So 27.8 into half of the 5.35 by 2. Okay, half of the 5.35 by 2. So this is a clockwise direction. So I am putting here positive. So this loads are under direction, downward direction. So I am putting a negative sign. So 23.167 into 1.2 whole square by 2. So 57.7 kilonewton meter per meter. It is the actual load, actual bending moment acting due to the live loads. So another factor we should considering, that is called a impact factor. So impact factor for a class A wheel load is a from the codal provision 4.5 divided by 6 plus L. So 4.5 divided by 6 plus L is a 5.35. So its value comes 0.4 meter. So we should also consider the impact factor also. So here maximum bending moment due to live load including the impact effect is 1.4. It is an impact factor is a 4. So load factor is a 1. So total 1 plus 0.4 1.4 1.4 into 57.7. So 80.78 kilonewton meter per meter. It is a actual load we considering to design. So total bending moment is a bending moment due to dead loads and bending moment due to live loads. So we should consider these all things. So total moment due to bending moment due to dead load is a 41.68 and due to live load plus impact factor is 80.78. So overall bending moment is 122.46 kilonewton meter per meter. So from IRC designs we know moment ultimate moment is a QUBD square. So mu is ultimate moment always having a factor safety with 1.5. So 1.5 into 122. So that 122 here 122.46. So 183.69 kilonewton meter per meter is a ultimate moment. So I am placing here. So D is root of 183.69 into 10 power 6 divided by 2.76 into 1000. So D is a 258 mm. So 258 mm is a required depth for this amount of moment. So already we know we are placing a 350 mm depth is as a effective depth. So 350 is a higher depth compared to 258. So it is a okay. So hereafter we just finding a area of the steel reinforcement required. So area of the steel requirement is nothing but the formula mu equal to 0.87 Fy AST D into 1 minus Fy AST into FCK B into D. So already well known formula. So here we just placing the values for each and required places. So moment ultimate moment is 183.69 into 10 power 6 equal to 0.87 into 415 into AST into D value is a 350 mm, not yet 258, 350. Actually we are providing 350 into 1 minus 415 AST into FCK 20, breadth is a 1000 per meter length and depth is a 350. So by solving this formula I am having a AST is a 1607 mm square. So 1607 mm square per meter length, it is a required AST. So I am providing a 20 mm diameter bars at 190 mm center to center. So already we are well familiar to the spacing calculation. So I am just skipping this. So I am providing a 20 mm at 190 mm center to center. So minimum steel should be placing is a 0.12%. So 0.12 divided by 100 into 1000 into 400. 400 is a overall depth. So 480 mm square, it's a minimum reinforcement required, but we already providing a 1607 mm square. So it was a higher AST. So this AST, we calculated AST will be a higher. So we can place this value like this. So from next video I am going to design a distributors and shear check and detailing of the slab culverts detailing. So thank you.